Barbie and Simone de Beauvoir, The Myth of Womanhood with Ken's Identity Crisis. Sartre, Gender Roles and the Absurd Introduction. The dollhouse isn't just plastic. The opening frames of Greta Gerwig's Barbie are not just playful, they're radical. We witness children smashing their baby dolls, echoing the monolith scene from 2001, A Space Odyssey. But instead of apes discovering tools, we see girls discovering identity, questioning the roles they've inherited. This isn't a nostalgic nod, it's a cinematic warning. The old paradigms of femininity are crumbling. Barbieland is painted with perfect pastels, but beneath the gloss is a metaphorical straitjacket. This utopia of confident, smiling women masks a deep existential void. Every Barbie is successful, but are they free? There's no death, no aging, no failure, no introspection. It's a paradise designed by expectations, where emotion is a malfunction and perfection is a prison. When Barbie blurts, "Do you ever think about dying?" the record skips, the illusion fractures. Suddenly, Barbie becomes a vessel of crisis, a doll trying to become a person. What begins as a comedic fantasy becomes an existential voyage. The real story isn't about the gender politics of Barbie Land. It's about waking up from illusions, discovering meaning in the messines of life, and questioning whether we are living our truths or just playing roles. In this video, we'll trace Barbie's journey through the philosophical frameworks of Simone de Beauvoir, Jean-Paul Sartre, Albert Camus, and more. But more than that, we'll turn the camera back on ourselves. Because Barbie's crisis may be plastic, but ours is all too real. Chapter 1. Simone de Beauvoir and the Myth of Womanhood. Simone de Beauvoir wrote, "One is not born, but rather becomes a woman." With that single line, she shattered centuries of assumptions about gender. According to de Beauvoir, femininity isn't inherent. It's imposed a role written by culture, not biology. The eternal feminine is a myth, packaging women into ideals that serve patriarchy. Barbieland may seem like a feminist reversal of this myth. Women are in charge. They're astronauts, judges, and CEOs. But in truth, Barbieland simply swaps one myth for another. Women are still trapped only now in a myth of unyielding excellence and boundless positivity. Every Barbie is perfect, beautiful, successful, and always smiling. There's no room for failure, doubt, or even individuality. Barbie herself is a glittering symbol of the eternal feminine, a body sculpted for admiration, not autonomy. Her very existence is predicated on being seen, not understood. Even her supposed empowerment is just another role she's expected to perform. This creates an unbearable tension. On the surface, she is liberated, but beneath the pink plastic skin lies a hunger for authenticity, for permission to be flawed, real, and hold her breakdown flat feet. Thoughts of death, existential panic isn't a bug in the system. It's her soul knocking on the door. She is breaking from the myth. She no longer wants to be the ideal. She wants to be real. She wants to cry, age, feel pain, experience loss, and know failure. These are not malfunctions. They are the very definition of being alive. De Beauvoir argued that freedom comes with anguish. The more we accept our responsibility to define ourselves, the more painful and yet liberating our existence becomes. Barbie's journey is that of a being choosing anguish over illusion. Ask yourself, who defines your identity? Is your sense of self shaped by internal truth or external expectation? If you stripped away everything society taught you to be, what would remain? Chapter 2. Barbie in the Real World. Colliding with existential despair, Barbie's arrival in the real world is not a fish out of water moment. It's a philosophical exile. She leaves a place where she was worshipped for a world that objectifies, sexualizes, and trivializes her. It's a fall from grace, a descent into chaos. Simone de Beauvoir argued that in patriarchy, woman is defined by the male gaze as the other. Barbie experiences this firsthand. Catcalls, stares, mocking laughter, all signals that she is no longer the subject of her own story. She is now a body to be consumed. Jean-Paul Sartre's concept of the gaze becomes painfully real. Sartre says that when we feel watched, we become aware of ourselves as objects. We lose agency. Barbie, used to being the center of her world, suddenly becomes invisible, or worse, a joke. Her power is stripped. Her identity shattered. Then comes the emotional gut punch, Sasha's condemnation. Barbie learns she is no longer a feminist icon. She's a relic, a symbol of unattainable unexplainable beauty, commodification, and toxic expectations. Barbie, the believer, becomes Barbie, the accused. This is existential despair. Everything she believed in crumbles. She cries not because she's weak, but because she's finally aware. Awareness is pain, but it's also the first step to freedom. The real world is messy. It doesn't bend to scripts. For the first time, Barbie experiences the complex, contradictory nature of being human. She is neither good nor bad. She is not a savior nor a villain. She's just lost. And in this disorientation, she finds something real, the possibility of transformation. Have you ever had your worldview shattered? When reality confronted your beliefs, did you resist or did you listen? Chapter 3, Ken's Awakening. Sartre and the crisis of masculinity. Ken may be comic relief, but his existential crisis is no joke. In Barbie Land, he's just an accessory defined only by his longing for Barbie's attention. But in the real world, Ken discovers patriarchy, a system where being male equals power, respect, and identity. For the first time, he feels seen. He embraces this idea not out of understanding, but desperation. Sartre's bad faith is at play here. Instead of forging his own meaning, Ken imitates stereotypes: horses, suits, beer, machismo. His identity becomes a collage of cliches, a parody of manhood. When he brings patriarchy back to Barbie Land, it's not empowerment, it's empty roleplay. Eventually, Ken collapses. I'm just Ken. This isn't failure, it's freedom. He begins to see himself as a person, not a reflection. Are you living authentically or just wearing a mask of success? Chapter 4, The Absurdity of Plastic. Camus and Rebellion Against Meaninglessness. Camus said the absurd is born when we search for meaning in a world that offers none. Barbie confronts this head-on. Built to inspire joy, she finds herself causing pain. Made to empower, she feels trapped. She believed in her purpose until the world stopped believing with her. This contradiction unravels her, but not into despair. Like Camus' rebel, Barbie doesn't give up. She revolts. She walks away from perfection, from performance, from being defined by others, and choosing to be human, messy, uncertain. Real Barbie embraces the absurd and rises above it. She doesn't escape meaninglessness. She confronts it and still chooses to live. When have you chosen truth over comfort, even when nothing made sense? Chapter 5, Becoming Human. The final choice, Barbie's greatest transformation, isn't visual, it's existential. She chooses to become human, embracing imperfection, mortality, and the unknown. In a liminal space with Ruth Handler, her creator, Barbie receives not direction, but perspective, the freedom to choose her own path. Becoming human means letting go of the fantasy. It's not about escaping Barbie Land. It's about stepping into reality with all its chaos and beauty. Her final act? Visiting a gynecologist. A small moment, yet a bold statement. She's no longer a symbol, she's real. Existentialism teaches that freedom requires responsibility. Barbie accepts both. She doesn't become perfect. She becomes herself. Would you trade comfort for truth? Illusion for authenticity? Conclusion. Becoming real. Barbie's existential rebirth. Barbie ISN. Just about dolls or feminism. It's about the struggle to become real. Beneath the glitter and satire lies a profound question. What does it mean to be human? Barbie starts as a symbol, perfect, polished, and controlled. But through pain, uncertainty, and self-discovery, she breaks free from the roles imposed on her. Her transformation echoes Sartre's view. We become ourselves through choice. And like Camus, she doesn't escape the absurd, she confronts it and chooses to live anyway. Her final act, stepping into a gynecologist's office, isn't a joke. It's a declaration. She's no longer plastic. She chooses embodiment, vulnerability, and imperfection. She chooses life. We too live in plastic worlds trapped by expectations and appearances. But Barbie reminds us the real revolution is authenticity. Not performing, not pleasing, just being. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be real.